Depending on your age, you or your grandparents can tell a story about the first time they saw a VCR or CD player on a dealer's shelf. They'll also tell you how exciting and expensive it was to be the first in the neighborhood to own anything you plugged into the wall. Then they'll go on to tell you how they paid $3,000 to record episodes of Love Boat, and then complain about how gasoline had gone up to 60 cents a gallon. Before the new technologies first appeared in the showroom, the dealer most likely had his or her first touch of the prototypes at the International Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, months or even years before. Before we get too far, you should know that a lot of the CES footage shot between 1983 and 2013 was shot on the last day of the show, which has very few attendees on the floor compared to the previous days. This is done so that there are good views of the products without the wall-to-wall people blocking the view. The downside is you'll see many dedicated representatives who are in between people to help. Also, the lack of people in the booth may give you the false impression that there was not a lot going on. I just want managers to have the whole story while they decide about calling people on the carpet. Don't worry, you'll see plenty of footage shot at the height of the show, and those shots will give you a better idea of the true flavor and excitement of the largest trade show in the world. And of course, hats off to CES Security, the Las Vegas Police, and Las Vegas Fire Department for the great work they do at the show every year. Okay, another year, another Consumer Electronics Show. Are we going to see something new and exciting, or something that struggles and dies on the showroom floor? Maybe we'll see something great that never makes it to market. These are just some of the questions that keep bringing people back to CES every year. Well, it looks like quite a line for the bus today, so let's take the 20 minutes to walk the mile over to the convention center and check out CES 2013. Show veterans passing by the Riviera remember the high-end audio exhibits that were held here. High-end speakers, $10,000 turntables, and great sound processors. This is the same annual show that 30 years ago brought us the first ever CD players at an introductory price of $1,000, and we still had to wait a few months to see one in a store. That same 1983 CES introduced us to Sony Beta Hi-Fi. This is the first VCR to give rental tapes the same CD quality sound that we all now take for granted. This was also the show that gave us the first perfect VHS still frame, which was a big deal at the time. All these innovations were about as exciting to yesterday's gadget fans as a new iPad release is today. Amid all that technological promise, the right to record at home was under attack, and the effort to protect that right evolved into the DVRs of today. 1984 brought in the march of the small and convenient camcorders using full-size tapes. These devices eliminated the need to hang a separate recording unit off the shoulder, another big deal at the time. I said they were small and convenient because they were small and convenient compared to the 12-pound camera and 22-pound recording unit that made all this 1983 footage. That's me in my mustache days with the latest small camera. It weighed about 4 pounds, and the latest new recording unit weighed in at only around 8 pounds. This eliminated more than half the weight of the system used the previous year. 1984 also brought us the Betamax camcorder, the first VHS hi-fi machines, and the new 8mm camcorder format made for Kodak by Panasonic's parent company. Satellite TV systems were big, expensive, and on everybody's wish list. But if you had the money and the space for the dish, HBO and other channels were free on these systems. Stereo sound on good old-fashioned AM radio is being promoted. Robots were on hand to give us a preview into the far and distant future.
I think I'm in love with your camera. That's a real honey.
1985 introduced us to the full-size VHS camcorders and a new Laserdisc player that could not only play the 12-inch movie discs, but also CDs on the same machine. 1986 brought us more, and more. More video games, More TVs that could receive the stereo broadcast that started 2 years earlier, primitive LCD technology, HD TV prototypes, early surround sound systems, improved VHS picture quality, and the ability to add special effects to home video, all while the legal ability to record at home was still in doubt. The outdoor audio exhibits were always impressive. The systems typically put out sound waves so powerful they could actually move things. In 1988, Panasonic brought us a forerunner to Skype, known as video phones. On the AV front, we saw a progressive scan demo, early models of digital audio tape recorders, at least one 3D demonstration, the second year of Super VHS technology, and continued legal concerns about home recording. There was also some nice technology in the works that never made it off the show floor called ACTV. ACTV stood for Advanced Compatible Television. Picture quality looked better than the standard analog sets of the day, and it was widescreen. This was quite exciting for something that was being developed a full decade before the launch of HD TV.
High definition television, HDTV. Wow, HDTV is still 4 to 5 years away. There is no agreed upon standard among U.S. broadcasters. When it arrives, it could add a whole new dimension to home movie watching.
The high definition television that I saw is fascinating.
That's still some years away, though, unfortunately.
I would say several years away, but it's coming. That technology can't be held back.
Video camcorders are more popular than ever. Over 100 different camcorders are on the market, available in 6 different tape formats. Last year's showstopper, 3D home video, was back, and so were the crowds. Toshiba promises limited availability in February with a price tag around $1,500. Don't invite too many friends over, only 2 pair of glasses are included. The marriage of 2 technologies, point-and-shoot photography and video cameras, has produced the hands-down champ at this convention. Due out later this year, Sanyo's entry looks most like an ordinary camera. Like its counterparts, picture taking is as simple as point and shoot. Simply plug the disc into a player, turn on your television, and presto, instant pictures. The disc can be erased and reused, or you can save just the pictures you want. They can be transferred to videotape or even printed onto paper like ordinary pictures. Canon's Zapshot looks more like a portable stereo than a camera, but it delivers a high-resolution picture almost instantly. It's due out in March for under $1,000. Sony's Mavica system includes a separate camera and player. It should be in stores by April for about $895. This entry from Olympus is still under development. It promises to be more expensive than the competition, but it does more, allowing you to view up to 25 snapshots at once. What Nintendo is proving at this show is that to be one of the biggest businesses, you don't have to be one of the newest. The 90-year-old company commands 3/4 of a more than $2 billion a year market. Playing a video game no longer means being a couch potato. Today's electronics really keep you on your toes. Audio equipment enters the digital realm. Sony offered these high-tech headphones that boast old-world craftsmanship and rare Zelkova wood housings. At $4,000, they also boast a top price.
Excellence, bar none. Just goes to show you that money's no object.
You know, there's one good thing about this car stereo. When it's on, you're never bothered by traffic noise.
As 1999 brought the 20th century to a close, we saw the second model year of HD TV, while HD tuners for those $5,000 TVs were still optional and priced up to $3,000. All this while HD broadcasts were very rare. In 2007, we celebrated the 40th anniversary of CES, saw the world's largest professional monitor and early models of 3D TV. DLP was alive and well, while the competitor to Blu-ray struggled to survive. In 2008, Panasonic brought us the world's largest plasma TV, at 150 inches and priced like a small house in some parts of the country. On the other end of the size scale, Sony gave us our first look at OLED TV with an 11-inch model at $2,500. The picture was drop-dead gorgeous, and the cabinet seemed razor-thin.
Not only that, as you walk, it follows along with you. And a very separately adjust your distance from the screen as well.
Cassidy. Yes, with this technology, you can always keep an eye on your kids when they're...
So let's say, for instance, your kids are studying the Great Barrier Reef in school. Well, with LifeWall, all they have to do is open Google Earth.
One slide, and you can bet that going online never looked like this before. Yes.
Big adventure, all they do is this. And they've got the Great Barrier Reef right in their fish tank. It's gorgeous.
Yes, with LifeWall, Panasonic envisions a future that is truly all-encompassing and larger than life.
2010 showed us a large-size computer touchscreen and a shelf that could do the hula. Sharp did some nice things with the color yellow. We found a way to generate electricity with an exercise bike. A new technology called USB 3 came into view, while a new and faster communications technology called 4G started to emerge. So let's pick up the pace and get over to the 2013 show where we can see the latest products. The convention center wasn't always this developed. This is what it looked like when CD was first shown in 1983. One of the first things you see inside the convention center is the CES Arch. This has gone through a lot of changes over the years. Panasonic showed their automotive electronic technology, a demonstration of how TV power consumption has been reduced, an ocean of TVs, a 4K camcorder, and more and more and more. It just so happens that the Panasonic booth sits where Sony introduced the first Beta Hi-Fi some 30 years previous. This is the spot where one of the first CD players was introduced. It was known then as digital audio disc. Samsung showed lots of TVs, OLED, 4K, the next generation of video codecs, along with a selection of home appliances. Sony surrounded their visitors with a large screen. They showed their selection of lenses, camcorders, stabilizing technology, and apps. Sharp introduced their IGZO technology for improved sharpness and lower power consumption. They also showed us a wide variety of other TVs. Canon showed a lot of cameras and camcorders. Copia showed a futuristic classroom.
At the bottom left of the window, you'll see you can actually set your privacy settings for the note. And
Pentax brought a few cameras to the show. An indispensable part of the total CES experience is the crowds. Buses, 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 and almost everybody and anybody in the electronics industry you've ever heard of comes to CES.